So today we're diving into a camera that's, well, it's a whole different story.
Okay.
The Polaroid 800. This thing is from the we have.
Interesting. What's so special about this Polaroid 800?
Well, that's what we're going to find out. From what I hear, the image quality is unbelievable, especially for its time.
It is. It is. It's kind of remarkable, actually. You look at this camera and you might think, oh, just a simple point and shoot from the past.
Right, exactly.
But then you see the photos and it's like professional grade 130 millimeter f8.8Ds. This wasn't something you just found on a regular consumer camera back then.
So this is like top of the line stuff.
Pretty much. And you see it in the photos. It delivers this incredible portrait style, almost like classic Hollywood cinematographers who've kept this camera alive.
How so?
They found a way.
Really? So you can still shoot with this thing? Ever get the feeling with everyone snapping pics on their phones that something's, I don't know, kind of gotten lost in photography? Like, don't get me wrong, I love the convenience, but sometimes it feels almost, too easy.
Yeah, I get that.
So today we're diving into a camera that's, well, it's a whole different story.
Okay.
The Polaroid 800. This thing is from the 1950s. Can you believe that?
1950s. Wow.
But it offers something you don't see a lot these days, even with all the fancy tech we have.
Interesting. What's so special about this Polaroid 800?
Well, that's what we're going to find out. From what I hear, the image quality is unbelievable, especially for its time.
It is. It is. It's kind of remarkable, actually. You look at this camera and you might think, oh, just a simple point and shoot from the past.
Right, exactly.
But then you see the photos and it's like, whoa, hold on a minute. The image quality can rival what we achieve with digital cameras now in many aspects.
Seriously. So what's the secret ingredient here? What sets it apart?
The lens. It all comes down to the lens.
Okay, but there's got to be more to it than just it has a lens.
Of course, of course. Imagine this.
Yeah.
A professional grade 130 millimeter f8.8 lens.
Now, I'm not a complete camera geek, but that sounds impressive.
It is, especially for the 1950s. This wasn't something you just found on a regular consumer camera back then.
So this is like top of the line stuff.
Pretty much. And you see it in the photos. It delivers this incredible portrait style, almost like classic Hollywood cinematography,
Oh, wow. So like that black and white film noir kind of vibe.
Exactly. And the fact that you can capture that look, that feel with a camera from that era, it's pretty amazing.
Totally. But isn't that where we hit a roadblock? I mean, it's a vintage camera, right? You can't exactly walk into a store and grab film for it, can you?
Well, you're not wrong about the vintage part. The original film for the Polaroid 800, yeah, that's long gone.
But there's always a but.
There's a whole community out there, a bunch of really dedicated, shall we say, enthusiastic photographers who've kept this camera alive.
How so?
They found a way, through some clever modifications, to make the Polaroid 800 work with modern film, Type 100 film to be exact.
Wait, really? So you can still shoot with this thing? That's incredible.
It is incredible. To me, it speaks volumes about the build quality, the craftsmanship of this camera. It was built to last. And honestly, it's become this fun challenge, a cool project for photography enthusiasts who love to tinker and, well, keep these old cameras clicking.
That's so cool. I bet that's a huge part of the appeal for a lot of people.
Oh.
It's more than just taking a picture. It's like bringing this piece of history back to life.
You hit the nail on the head. There's something almost poetic about using a camera from that era, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, everything's so instant now. You take a picture, boom, it's on your phone, you share it instantly.
Right. But using the Polaroid 800, even with the modern film, it connects you to a different pace of photography.
Oh, totally. Like back in the day when you got your photos back from the developer.
It was an event. But even before that, with the Polaroid 800, you had that instant photo. But the process, the way you treated those prints, it was completely different.
Right. Like they were precious.
Exactly. Preserving those prints was a whole thing. People would manually coat them to prevent fading. It was a labor of love.
And now everyone just slaps a filter on it and posts it online. No wonder these old Polaroids are so sought after now.
It's like holding a piece of the past. And the Polaroid 800, with its classic folding design, that beautiful leatherette and metal finish, it's iconic.
It's a statement piece for sure. So for our listeners who are now probably thinking, I need one of these cameras, what do they look out for?
Well, here's the thing. The Polaroid 800, it's not as widely recognized in the vintage camera world as you might think.
Yeah.
Which is surprising considering its quality and its story. But what it means is you might just stumble across a real gem at a reasonable price.
So it's like a treasure hunt.
In a way, it is. It's about going out there, exploring antique shops, maybe online markets. You never know what you might find.
That's exciting. And, this whole deep dive has really got me thinking. The Polaroid 800, it's more than just a camera.
I agree.
It's like a time capsule.
Yeah.
It shows us how much photography has changed, how we've gone from this almost sacred art of capturing a moment to just, snapping a pic without a second thought.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Have we lost something in this pursuit of instant gratification, of digital perfection?
It's a question worth asking ourselves. So, to our listeners out there, I'll leave you with this. Imagine you're holding a restored Polaroid 800. It's ready to go. What's that first shot you take? What would you capture? Think about that.
Good question.
It really makes you appreciate those old cameras, doesn't it?
It does. A
Yeah.
lot.